Now, let's talk about what's going on in Benton Harbor, Michigan. BentonHarborCity.com/govt is .html is the website. BentonHarborCity.com, I'm guessing will get you the beginning of it. Dennis Knowles is a city commissioner with Benton Harbor City. We spoke with him briefly on the telephone yesterday. He's back with us. Sir, welcome back to the program.
Hey, thank you, Tom. How are you doing today?
I am very well, and it's great to see you with us here. And your city was the first that Governor Rick Snyder decided to use to exercise his brand new draconian, we don't need no stinking democracy here law that was passed by the Republicans in the Michigan State Legislature in Lansing a couple of weeks ago. How goes it, and what has changed since yesterday?
Well, actually, it has gotten to a point where we're getting outside people coming in and affording us some kind of help by way of Jesse Jackson coming in. Then we had, strangely mentioning, I had a call this morning from the ACLU out of Detroit, Michigan. And the saddest thing that I got from Detroit was this. Well, Commissioner, we don't have a policy in place that we could use to take this fight to the Department of Justice.
Yeah.
And I said to Michael Steinberg, what did you mean by policy? And the ACLU, I gave it to your workers to substantiate what I'm saying. And he stated that there is no policy. I said, well, Michael, aren't you the ACLU? He says, yes. That's American Civil Liberties Union.
Sure.
Am I correct? He says, yes. And you fight for civil liberties, don't you? He says, yes. I said, well, Michael, why are you discouraging me and not taking on a fight? And I had to wonder if the ACLU had been bought off as well.
Well, I think what it is that the ACLU's primary focus is the First Amendment, the right of free speech. And this is really a good governance issue. This is the future of democracy. I would be fascinated to have you speak with Michael Ratner or one of his attorneys at the Center for Constitutional Rights in New York. And when we get off the air, I will make an effort to put the two of you in touch with each other. He's the guy who took the lawsuit, the Hamdan lawsuit, where they put the guy in jail, or in Guantanamo, rather. He took 3 of these cases to the Supreme Court and won them. He's the guy who almost got Donald Rumsfeld arrested in Germany. He's a good government guy. And because I think this goes frankly way beyond the ACLU. I think the ACLU's concern is not so much about governance as it is about the First Amendment, if I may respectfully push back a little bit on your concerns.
Well, I haven't seen the striking of freedom of speech when it comes to governance here. What I have seen, well, yes, I have. Let me take it back. When you appoint an emergency manager with the powers that the emergency manager here has, then there's a problem in that we don't have a voice. As you read on the air 2 days ago as we spoke, we can only meet, we can approve minutes of meetings, and then we adjourn.
Right. That's
striking the voice when we're speaking of civil liberties. I beg to differ on that point.
Well, you have a point. You have a point, and you might want to talk with Mark Fancher also. He was just on with us just a minute ago. He's with the ACLU of Michigan's Racial Justice Project. He's their staff attorney, and I'm sure that Julie would be glad to put you in touch with him also after we get off the air. If you want to just hang on the phone there. But I think it's great that Jesse Jackson Jr. has shown up. We're doing everything we can to publicize what's going on in Benton Harbor, Michigan. I'm guessing that
Jesse Jackson, and he had come today to discuss forming coalitions, because it's true. What's happening here will funnel throughout the whole country, should it be allowed. And this is where the masses must stand up, because when your voting rights are stricken, then all other rights constitutionally become struck as well. And I say that because economics at this time have depleted. Taxation is rising. Bills are rising. And the American people cannot afford the cost factors. I'll say this too: outsourcing the jobs, the industry, slave labor abroad. This is World Trade Organization, freedom of FAFTA and free trade agreement, NAFTA as well.
Yeah.
And this is the outcome of something that has been brewing up in the country for a long time.
Yeah, ever since Reagan was elected. I would submit that probably, I'm guessing, I'd be willing to bet you, I have a bad way to say it, but my guess is that what Rick Snyder is going to do next is he's going to go after other majority African-American communities in Michigan. And because he's trying to consolidate his white Republican base. And, for example, Muskegon Heights or some of the Detroit suburbs, or Detroit itself for that matter. Although that's a pretty big fish to go after. But I think that he's going to be going after some of these smaller, in trouble African-American communities that are largely in trouble because industry has, as you correctly point out, because of our insane trade policies over the last 30 years, industry has gone to China. And people are left without jobs. And so you got no more tax base. So how can you run a city? And rather than solve the problem, he pays some guy $150,000, $180,000 a year and brings him in and says, okay, you're in charge. Starts selling off the city to wealthy developers.
And you know who foots the bill? The very people who are being imposed upon with this legislation. And you're right, it is stricken the African-American communities. But do not believe for once that all poor communities will not be stricken.
No, I agree. I agree. I just think, knowing how the Republicans play these games, we'll see. I hope I'm wrong on this. I hope I'm not as cynical as I appear to be. Dennis Knowles, thank you, sir.